Hoodrich Magazine.
Interview, January 5th, 2016. Commander Rocky Robinson, Commander-in-Chief and founder of the Bedford-Stuyvesant Volunteer Ambulance Corps. Good morning, Commander.
Good morning, sir. AK, Save a Life Rescue Squad.
Yes. Commander, you've been in existence now for how long?
I am 75 years old, but let me start from the beginning. My birth name is James Mathew Robinson. I was born in Marietta, North Carolina in 1940. I remember the first time that I knew that I was a boy was when we were playing under the house and my brother took a pair of wire plows and squeezed my penis. It was very painful. I was about 4 or 5 years old, and Timothy, my brother, he since reported he died of whooping cough. And I remember an ambulance outside my house, and that's the first time. I don't know who it was for, but I know shortly after my mother moved to Wilson, North Carolina. I was about 6 years old and I had to get up early in the morning, and there was a horse named Charlie. I had to plow Charlie in the cotton fields. And then one day, when I was about 8 years old, my mother said we were going to New York City. We went to 1700 Pacific Street, where I was known as Cornbread. I didn't like that name, and whenever the neighborhood kids called me Cornbread, because I was used to getting up early and eating cornbread, and I was in good shape. I used to knock them out. And then they used to say, "Oh, don't mess with him, he got rocks in his hand." I didn't have no rocks in my hand, but they thought I had rocks in my hand. So they was afraid to call me Cornbread anymore, so they started calling me Rock. With that name, I started my career as a tough guy in the street. My mother and my father, for whatever reason, had split. So I was the man of the house. When all the other kids used to go home to their mother and their father, I used to stay in the street trying to get some money so I could put some pork in our beans that the welfare was giving us. I also remember when we used to hide our TV when the inspectors used to come by. You wasn't allowed to have no TV, you was on welfare. So I got involved in gangs, and what happened is I started doing bad things, making zip guns out of antennas, and my mother said, "You know what? You gotta go into the service because you are out of control." Well, that's what happened. I wound up going to the military police, and I also became a judo instructor in Augusta, Georgia. And then I was shipped overseas to Gießen, Germany, where I met my girlfriend.
Stay tuned for the next segment of the James Mathew Robinson story right here on the Keys 107 Network, HRM, with your host, J.R. Strongg.